So you're thinking about moving to Charlotte, North Carolina? Well, today I'm going to give you 5 reasons that you strongly need to consider making that move. If any of these 5 reasons resonate with you, you wouldn't be alone. Every single day, at least 100 people make a move from their city to Charlotte, North Carolina. In fact, North Carolina is considered one of the top 5 states that people move to the most. My name is Yadi Karina Jones, and I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams Select right here in the Charlotte metro area. Every single day, I help people just like you transition to the Queen City, as we affectionately call it. But 8+ years ago, I was one of those 100 people that decided to leave everything they knew to move to Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, for our family, Charlotte kind of picked us, because even though we had feelers and we had checked out a couple of different places to live in, my husband ultimately got a job offer in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we decided to pack up our little family of 3 and take everything that we had and make a 625-mile trek from New York City to Charlotte. Now, that wasn't easy because, of course, New York City was all that we knew. It was where we had grown up. It's where we went to school. And it was where all of our family and friends lived. And New York City is a great place, and it had a lot to offer. But we knew that on our journey as parents and as a family, that New York City wasn't going to be able to give us some of the things that were really, really, really important to our family. So we decided to leave it, and that's why I created this channel, because I want you to know the good, I want you to know the bad, I want you to know the interesting things that Charlotte has to offer, because this is a huge decision that you're making for yourself and your loved ones, and you need to be well informed before you make that decision. Now, if you want to get this information, you're going to have to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and tap that bell so you can get notified every time I give you new videos and new content. Now, without any further ado, I want to invite you to listen to 5 reasons that we decided to move to Charlotte, 5 reasons that you should also move to Charlotte. So the first reason you need to consider moving to Charlotte are the housing options. So housing was very high on our list, and that was one of the major reasons that we wanted to leave our previous city. So in Charlotte, you have a ton of options. So you can buy a home with a lot of square footage, with less square footage. You can buy a home with a basement. You can buy a home that is a townhome, or you can buy a condo. You can also buy into certain communities. So you can buy into an HOA community, or you can buy a standalone home where you don't have the restrictions of an HOA community. You can also buy into master plan communities, and those have amenities way beyond your typical HOA offerings. So you're looking at golf courses, country clubs, equestrian communities, and you can also build a new construction home, or you can build a custom home if you've always wanted to do that. So there are a lot of ways to get the house that you want here. There's also different types. I've seen modern homes, I've seen farmhouse, arts and crafts, colonial. The one thing that I haven't seen yet is a Mediterranean home. But I mean, we'll probably get that soon too. So there are a lot of types of homes here that you can pursue. And so for us, that was critical because we were not going to be able to build a home in New York City. It was just too far removed for us to be able to build a home. And so that was really pushing us to leave New York City. So if you are thinking that your housing situation isn't exactly where you need it to be, you need to consider making a move to Charlotte, North Carolina. So the second reason that I believe you should move to Charlotte is the cost of living. Now, the cost of living is going to be relative to whatever city you're coming from. But cost of living is going to take into account things like transportation, utilities, groceries, housing, That's a big one. Car insurance, taxes, property taxes in particular, childcare, healthcare. So all of these things are ranked. And if you plug into any cost of living calculator online, you will find that they are ranking cities against the number 100. So the national average is going to be at 100. All cities that fall below that 100. So the further apart you are from the number 100, the more affordable your city is. And then if you fall above the number 100, of course, those cities are going to be less affordable. So Charlotte ranks about 5.4% less than the national average. And that's pretty much in every category. So the biggest category that you're going to save in terms of moving to Charlotte versus something like New York or Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles, your large metro areas, is housing. So housing, you're going to save anywhere between 53% to 66%. That was a huge number. And considering that one of the biggest reasons that we wanted to move from New York was housing, because we weren't finding the type of house that we wanted in New York for the price point that we wanted. So that was a big incentive. So cost of living was huge to us. Now, what does that cost of living do for your family? Of course, if you can reduce the cost of living, you can also improve your extracurricular life. So my husband is able to play golf. We're able to do some things we couldn't do in New York. I mean, we lived in a place where everything from Broadway shows to the best restaurants to like activities such as the Statue of Liberty or Empire State Building were all at your fingertips. They were all at your disposal. But guess what? A lot of times we couldn't take advantage of it because the cost of living for those things that you have to do for your family was so extremely high that we weren't able to take advantage of the amazing things that New York had to offer. Now that we live in Charlotte, we're able to do a lot more and make our dollars stretch a lot further. So the third reason you need to consider moving to Charlotte is the climate. One of the benefits of living in Charlotte is that we do get all 4 seasons. Now, I know for our family, it was a deal breaker if we didn't have that, because my husband, he likes to be in the cold and I prefer to be in the heat. So we needed a place that could work for both of us. And so Charlotte does that. But the one thing you rarely see in Charlotte is snow. So no more days of backbreaking shoveling where you still had to head to work and school with 24 inches of snow. We don't experience that anymore. As a matter of fact, the temperatures in Charlotte range from about 33 degrees to about 89, and it never gets colder than about 21 degrees, and it never really gets hotter than 96 degrees. Now that's pretty hot, but hey, I like it hot, so that works for me. Now the other thing is that you can find snow here if that's what you want. I mean, do I miss snow? Sometimes I do. But if I really want to see it, I can go up to the Blue Ridge Mountains where you can find snow in Boone, Blowing Rock, or Beach Mountain. And up there, they get about 80 inches of snow because you have some skiing and things like that. So if you really want to see snow, all you have to do is drive 2.5 hours away and you can get it. So the fourth reason you need to consider moving to Charlotte is that it has a slower pace of life. So it really allows you to reduce some of that stress and relax a little, because where we were from, everything was very fast paced and very fast moving, and you had to keep up with it or else you were getting left behind. So let me give you an example. Now, if you were sitting at a traffic light in New York and the light turned green, immediately everybody would start honking if you didn't immediately press on the gas. Here, you have some reprieve because if the light turns green, you may not get honking. Sometimes people don't honk at all. It's actually pretty rare to hear honking here. The other thing is I remember earlier on when I moved down here going to the bank, and the person in front of me was just having a whole entire conversation with the bank teller, and I was getting frustrated because I'm used to, or I was used to, a very fast pace where, you know, it's go, 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 and it's like, what do you need? and they take care of that, and then it's moving on. There is no how are you doing and what's going on in your life. But this bank teller was taking the time to get to know or to continue that relationship with the client. So things are a little slower here, even though it's a metro area. And that's actually a relief for us. It's relaxing, and it helps relieve some of that stress that you feel from, getting up and getting on your grind every day. So the fifth reason you need to consider moving to Charlotte is actually in line with the fourth reason. And that is that Southern hospitality is a real thing, y'all. Southern hospitality is so real that it shocked me at the beginning, because I'm from New York City and we don't even say hi to our neighbors. I didn't even know most of my neighbors. So we could get in an elevator and literally not speak to each other or say good morning. If you do that in Charlotte, you're kind of the odd man out, because most people here say hi to each other and they wave when they're in their cars. This has been really refreshing for me, because that means that a neighbor will help me in a pinch if I need some eggs or if I need to help move something heavy in my house. And that could be a little bit of a challenge if you're an introvert, because you're going to have to adapt to the fact that people here are just friendly and they're going to say hi, and you probably need to say hi back. So that's something that you need to adapt to and adjust if you're not used to that. But if you like being friendly, you're going to love it here in Charlotte. Today, I gave you 5 different reasons why you should consider moving to Charlotte. These were also the reasons that we agreed to move to Charlotte, and more importantly, the reasons we decided to stay here. If you're thinking about making a move to Charlotte, I'd love to connect with you and have the conversation and help you find the home of your dreams in the Charlotte metro area. I'm Yadi Karina Jones. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams Select, and I'd like to provide you with more of this content. Please tap that bell, subscribe to the channel, and like this video so I can give you more of the content you need to make the decisions that are important in your life. See you soon.